Blackpool Pleasure Beach in Lancashire is one of the UK's most historic theme parks, and it perfectly blends together classic old attractions and rides manufactured with modern technology brilliantly. They have some potentially exciting new projects coming up in the future of the resort, with a new attraction to replace Grand Prix on the way and much more. But it seems the resort will be looking to add to their current lineup of accommodation also. So before we get into the latest update from Pleasure Beach Resort, make sure you do like, comment, subscribe, click the notification bell so you never miss another YouTube video. We're on the road to 3,000 subscribers and 500,000 views. I can't believe we're actually, 50 subscribers away now from the big 2,500. It's unbelievable, which means we're nearly exactly halfway towards 3,000 subscribers. So let's get there as soon as possible, please. If you do want to listen to the shows again, you can check them out on Acast. The link is in the description down below as of now and for the rest of the videos. And for now, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, for those of you watching and listening, let's have a look into everything around the latest bit of accommodation news that's set to be arriving at the Pleasure Beach Resort, as today, Chall Chats Pleasure Beach Resort. So before we get into the current discussion, we have to take a look at the past history of accommodation with the Pleasure Beach Resort. They have a rich history when it comes to on-site accommodation, which began decades ago. The Big Blue Hotel, which opened back in 2003, is an initial 4-story hotel aimed at principally for families and contains a range of rooms, from large-sized family rooms to luxury suites, with some rooms overlooking the theme park's attractions. But then the resort increased the amount of accommodation on site back in 2019, 16 years after the Big Blue Hotel opened. The Star Pub was transformed into the Boulevard Hotel, a one-of-a-kind overnight experience which initially featured 120 rooms and 10 suites. But the resort looks set to increase the amount of accommodation from 2 to 3 as we have some news surrounding the overnight offerings at the resort. So what do we know so far? Amanda Thompson, OBE, has announced that Pleasure Beach is in the very early, keyword, very early stages of planning a new hotel in quotes close to the White Tower building, as well as luxury pet-friendly holiday apartments that will be attached to the Boulevard Hotel. This will be the third official option for accommodation at the resort, and there is no official date scheduled for any step of the process for this project so far. So that is literally all the information we have. The rest of this video or this news update is in fact going to be a discussion as to whether this is the right move at this time, whether it's the right idea, and whether you think that the on-site accommodation is the right move at this park right now. So first of all, we're going to talk about the plan. So the plan is a brand new on-site accommodation close to the White Tower building. Now, we showed you a screenshot via Google Earth, Google Maps, which basically outlines what close to the White Building could mean in terms of actual location of this development. Obviously, we know that nothing has been officially, revealed so far in terms of actual planning images, where this is going, this, that, the other. And for me, I feel like there's a real opportunity here. And you had a look. You saw from the screenshot that we put up on screen for those of you who are watching this video. For those listening to this video, make sure you go and watch the YouTube link, because you'll be able to see the screenshot of what I mean. So in yellow, of course, you have the White Tower building. And then in the light blue, I've got Osborne Road. So you've got the Waterfalls Cafe Bar next door. You've got the Travelodge nearby. And they've got an opportunity here to maybe even take over the Travelodge if permits are in order to take over that building, and combine it with the car park just outside the Travelodge to create a nice L-shaped on-site accommodation, right outside the entrance. So you've got the Boulevard Hotel at one side, you've got the Big Blue near Blackpool South train station, and then you've also got this potential L-shaped development which could go on close to the actual entrance of the park. So you've got one on each side of the resort site, and then you've got one nearest to the train station. You've got a good range of sites there. So in terms of, and look, we're not going to confirm that that's the location here, but when we say close to the White Tower building, that is one route to go down in terms of close to that particular building. Do I believe, if that was the location for this on-site development, do I believe that that is a good location? 100%, absolutely. That would be the best possible location in terms of close to the White Tower building, in quotation marks, from Amanda Thomas on that podcast. And that was where the information was released, by the way. It wasn't an official information from her social media or anything like that. This was revealed on a podcast, a brilliant podcast, mind you. I can't remember the name of it, I do apologise. But it was a great podcast. It was brilliant listen. Now then, like I said, I believe that is the perfect location for on-site accommodation. Yes, you'd be removing the golf course, the little family golf course, which is literally right outside the entrance. You'd be potentially taking over the Travelodge building if there is an indeed, plan or determination to create an L-shaped type apartment structure, accommodation structure. And I do feel like it's the perfect location. Does that golf course drum up business? It does drum up some business. Do I believe it's enough to stay open? I can't really say because I don't own that particular attraction. So I couldn't really say, to be honest with you. The good thing about that location of the hotel potentially as well is it's near the Velvet Coaster. Now, the Velvet Coaster is, obviously the Velvet Coaster used to be a coaster at Blackpool Pleasure Beach back in the day, but it's also a Wetherspoons, and an iconic Wetherspoons. It's where all the enthusiasts go, before, during, after the days at Pleasure Beach, especially the opening week. They go down to that pub, they go down to that Wetherspoons, and they just enjoy. They enjoy their time. And for those staying on site, they can use the Travelodge, go straight down to the Boulevard, go down to the Big Blue, go back home on the trains, in their cars, if they're only staying for the day. There's been a couple of times where I've really wanted to stay on site at Pleasure Beach, and I do believe, like I said, I'll go back to that point. This is, for me, if in terms of close to the White Tower building, I believe this is the perfect location. If the golf course can be taken over, and if there's an opportunity to build a brand new one, then I do believe this is a perfect location for this new on-site accommodation. I do believe there's an opportunity to do that. You could do some wonderful stuff with it. I know you've got the Osborne Road in between. If you go back and look at the image again, for those of you who are listening to this, go and look at the image on the video, because trust me, you need to see it to believe it. You've got the Osborne Road, which sits in between the golf course and the flat land with a toilet block. So when you look at that, you would probably have to get rid of that road or do like a bit of a bridge type structure within the apartment structure of the accommodation. So if you're going to do the L shape, you would take over the Travelodge if you could. That could be a bit more space. The car park that's right there as well, there's an opportunity to do that as well. Take over that car park that's, obviously located right outside the Travelodge, that little bit of car park outside the Travelodge, which is near the entrance. You've also got the golf course, which again, if you can take that over, and there's an opportunity to build a new one as part of the structure of the accommodation, and of course the offerings of the accommodation, there's an opportunity there. You've got the grassland with the old toilet block. Again, I do think you take that over pretty easily. And obviously, you've got the middle road, the Osborne Road, which is in between the flat land with the toilet block and the golf course. So when you look at that, understand that, and analyse that, there is an opportunity to take that over. There is an opportunity to close that bit of road off, combine it. You can also design the structure of the accommodation to go over that Osborne Road, so it feels like you're driving into a bit of a tunnel. You can theme it up so people driving from, upwards, past the Travelodge, down Osborne Road, can actually go under this little bit of tunnel underneath the structure, and Blackpool Pleasure Beach Resort could end up doing a nice themed tunnel to, make it, nice for people to drive under and walk under. Obviously, there's a pathway for it as well. And, for me, I feel like there's an opportunity here. There's a really, really big opportunity to bring something exciting to that location, and especially close to the White Tower building. I think that's probably the obvious location, because obviously you're near the entrance of the park, the sandcastle's opposite, and it seems like demographically, geographically, with the train station up the road as well, from the Blackpool North station further up, and from Blackpool South down the other end of the site, you've got a real opportunity there to create something that's of respectable distance, albeit 10-15 minute walks at the max. In terms of, do I think it's the right investment at this very moment? It's a controversial discussion because, obviously there's that whole discussion point of, is this the right time? Are they filling up the numbers during the busy periods of the Boulevard Hotel with the Big Blue? Is a third one needed at this very stage? I've seen that discussion happen over forums, etc. From my standpoint, if I'm being perfectly honest, we have to look at the wording of when it was revealed on this podcast by Amanda Thompson. Very early stages, very early stages, they're looking into it. It's not confirmed, but they're looking into it. And if the numbers keep increasing, I know some people have made complaints and some people have made, qualms about pricing and availability, and that there was an outcry on social media about the Grand Prix event. I didn't get the chance to go to that, but I did get a chance to film some of the testing of Grand Prix. Obviously, if you go on the channel, you can check out an off-ride footage video from the Grand Prix, which reveals all of that. So go and check that out if you haven't already. For me, I feel like if this is the very early stages and this is happening, in terms of when I think this could happen, if they go ahead with this, I do believe this will be back end of this decade, the start of the next decade at the very earliest opportunity. If the numbers keep increasing with the other two resort hotels, it would be the right idea. 100% it'd be the right idea. But I think one thing that I think could hinder towards this third accommodation is the addition of the Grand Prix replacement, alongside getting Ice Blast back open or getting a replacement put into Ice Blast, getting whatever's needed for River Caves to sort it out and get that back open. For me, I want to see Ice Blast back either in a new way or in its current form with new parts, etc. I want to see River Caves come back as soon as we possibly can. Don't know what the story is about that, but we'll hope for the best for River Caves. Hopefully, fingers crossed, all the best for that one. So hopefully Ice Blast back in a new way or the same way. River Caves back. Brand new attraction for Grand Prix. I'd love a roller coaster to replace Grand Prix. Hopefully a family thrill roller coaster, but we'll see what happens. I've made my predictions on that. I went with the family launch coaster or a single rail coaster. I think either of them could be very, very good. I think that Intamin can get involved. I think Vekoma could get involved if Intamin's not involved. So I think there's a couple of manufacturers to go with there for that one. If not, a decent attraction of some sort, which I know the Pleasure Beach are capable of bringing in. I think with all that taken into account, I think down the line, a third on-site accommodation off the back of those returns of investment and debuting investments would be the right ideal solution to bringing in more guests for longer to increase the revenue that's coming into the registers of the Pleasure Beach Resort as a whole, in terms of overall financial income and revenue. Take into that in addition with sponsorships, with advertising revenue. From a business standpoint, with the replacement of the Grand Prix, with a new attraction, the possible return of Ice Blast, the possible return of the River Caves, I think that would draw up just as much business alongside other new additions around the park to keep it looking clean, tidy, nice, pristine, sophisticated. I think that it would warrant a third on-site accommodation. And I think that Paul down here would love a pint in the Velvet Coaster rather than just the Sal. But for now, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very, very much. By the way, if you're listening to this and you're not watching the video, you're actually listening to this on Acast, I was pointing at my Off to the South for a Pint shirt. You can watch the video, you'll understand why. But, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very, very much for watching and listening to this news update. Make sure you do like, comment, subscribe. Make sure you follow us on all the platforms, all the social media outlets, all into the description down below. And for now, I am the CHALL. Ta-ra for now, and that is the end of this theme park experience.